Welcome, Age of Vintage Society. William Smith, the rugged actor who starred on television on Laredo, Rich Man Poor Man, and Hawaii Five-0 and went toe-to-toe with Clint Eastwood and Rod Taylor in two of the more remarkable brawls in movie history. Why was William Smith one of Hollywood's legendary tough guys? Make sure to watch the video until the end and leave your thoughts in the comments. If you are new here, join our wonderful community by subscribing to the Age of Vintage channel. You may not know his name, but you will recognise the face of handsome, powerfully built actor William Smith if you watched television or went to the movies over the past 7 decades. Throughout his career, Smith was known for persevering in a cutthroat industry. He was a fighter in every sense. Smith was a fascinating person with a diverse background. While working towards his doctorate, he landed a contract with MGM and never looked back. Over the next 30 years, Smith became one of the kings of B-movie and television villainy. He played more than 250 roles during his career, always in demand by casting directors who needed a guy who could throw or take a punch. Perhaps his most famous role came as bare-knuckle fighter Jack Wilson alongside Clint Eastwood in the 1980 movie Any Which Way You Can. Eventually the two have a showdown, but they come to each other's aid in a bar fight earlier in the movie. His character was a boxer named Jack Smith. The scene was long but choreographed well. The fact that neither Smith nor Eastwood used body doubles for the scene was confirmed by Smith. It has to be one of the longest two-man fights ever done on film without doubles. 10 years before this scene, Smith had another legendary fight scene with Rod Taylor in Darker Than Amber. That one was so realistic that both Smith and Taylor suffered injuries during the filming of it. Smith had 3 broken ribs and Taylor had a broken nose. First, choreography and staging went out of the window when Rod decided to really hit me, Smith said in a 2010 interview, and so the fight was on. That was a real fight with real blood and real broken bones. Rod is a skilled fighter and at the same time a real scrapper. Now that was a good fight. Smith enlisted in the Air Force at age 18 and became fluent in Russian, German, French and Serbo-Croatian. During the Korean War he flew secret missions over Russia and other Eastern Bloc countries. He received a top security clearance and planned to go into intelligence work after his studies at Syracuse University, the University of Munich, the Sorbonne in Paris and UCLA. While he was building his intelligence chops, Smith was also earning acclaim as an athlete and bodybuilder. His website says that he won the Air Force Light Heavyweight Boxing Championship, was a champion discus thrower at UCLA, twice won the 200-pound World Arm Wrestling Championship, and held a black belt in martial arts, Kung Fu and Kempo Karate. Readers of bodybuilding magazines from the 60s and 70s are sure to recognise him from numerous covers and articles. He had 18-inch biceps and could do 5,100 continuous sit-ups and reverse curl 163 pounds, all of which helped solidify the 6'2" man as one of Hollywood's legendary tough guys. He worked out by regularly lifting 200-pound barbells. He also played semi-pro football in Germany and competed in motocross and downhill skiing events. He received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Academy of Bodybuilding and Fitness in 1995. He was inducted into the Muscle Beach Venice Bodybuilding Hall of Fame in 2010 and became an honorary member of the Stuntman's Association of Motion Pictures in 2000. With all that going for him, how did Smith end up in Hollywood? Smith, who was born on March 24, 1933, grew up on a cattle ranch in Missouri, owned by his parents, William Emmett Smith and Emily Richard Smith. At the ranch he would develop a love and admiration for horses and the classic Western lifestyle. His family later moved to Southern California, and Smith immediately began to seek work in films. As a kid he made numerous uncredited appearances in classic movies like The Ghost of Frankenstein, Meet Me in St. Louis, Gilda and Going My Way. When MGM came calling a decade later, Smith decided to give acting a try. Following the war, Smith had goals of obtaining a classified position with the government, but was offered a contract with MGM while working on his doctorate studies, effectively routing his life's path back to the bright lights of Hollywood. Some of his earliest roles as an adult were as a series regular in television shows like 1961's The Asphalt Jungle and 1965's Laredo, as well as multiple memorable guest turns on Gunsmoke, The Virginian, Perry Mason, Batman, Lassie and The Mod Squad. In 1965, Smith nabbed the lead role in NBC's Laredo, where he portrayed Texas Ranger Joe Riley for 2 seasons until its cancellation in 1967. On Gunsmoke, Smith appears in a 1972 episode, Hostage. His character beats Amanda Blake's character, Miss Kitty Russell, and shoots her twice in the back. Smith has been described as the greatest bad guy character actor of our time. In 1974, William Smith played the role of Tolar in the Planet of the Apes television series episode The Gladiators. Filming a wrestling scene, Mark Singer, playing his on-screen son, made a serious error of judgment. In my inexperience, I punched Bill in the stomach. That was the one and only time I've ever hurt an actor or stuntman in my entire career, and I lived to tell of it. Bill had a reputation as notorious real-life tough guy, but we became fast friends. Apes star Ron Harper remained friends with Smith. William Smith was in The Gladiators, and boy was he well built. I'm still friends with him. In fact, I've become better friends with him in the last 5 or 10 years. He's an interesting guy because he's such a weightlifter with those arms and that chest, but he's also very bright. He speaks, I think, 5 languages. Isn't that amazing? And a nice guy. He played a lawman again in 1979 when he joined the final season of Hawaii Five-0 as Detective James Kimo Carew, one of 3 newcomers to come aboard after James MacArthur's departure. Smith, who was known for playing mostly bad guys, really enjoyed being able to play a hero on the popular CBS procedural. Perhaps his most memorable TV role came in 1976 when he played the villainous Anthony Falconetti in the hit miniseries Rich Man, Poor Man, later reprising the role in the sequel Rich Man, Poor Man Book 2. The bloodthirsty Falconetti was the arch-enemy of the series' central family, headed by the Jordache brothers, played by Peter Strauss and, in the first instalment only, Nick Nolte. Smith rumbled with Eastwood in Buddy Van Horn's Any Which Way You Can in 1980. Although Roger Ebert said the Any Which Way But Lose sequel was not very good in his 2-star review at the time, he did enjoy the pairing of Smith and Eastwood. It was to my immense delight that I immediately recognised the actor playing Jack Wilson, Ebert wrote. He was William Big Bill Smith, who played a lot of motorcycle gang leaders in films of the late 1960s, and still looks as fearsome as ever. He and Eastwood meet while out jogging one morning, and then he falls off a cliff and is rescued by Eastwood, after which he beats up a lot of guys who insult Eastwood's girlfriend in a bar, all in a day's work. The film's trailer described the fight between Wilson and Philo Beddoe Eastwood as the most knuckle-busting, gut-wrenching, brain-scrambling, butt-bruising, lip-splitting brawl of all time. We shot it in Jackson, Wyoming, which is about 8,000 feet high in altitude, and I was smoking so hard at the time. Smith, an avid bodybuilder, appeared in 1982's Conan the Barbarian as the titular character's father, opposite Arnold Schwarzenegger. He also played the Soviet Colonel Strelnikov in John Milius's Red Dawn, 1984. At the end of the decade, he also married his second wife, Joan. The couple were together until his passing. His final appearance in a film was in Steve Carell's 2020 comedy, Irresistible. The 6'2" actor's career saw him tussle on screen with some of the most rugged leading men in Hollywood. Speaking of smoke, Smith was the last actor to portray the Marlboro Man in commercials before they were banned from television. Smith died at the Motion Picture and Television Country House and Hospital in Woodland Hills, California. Joan Covelli Smith told The Hollywood Reporter. She did not want to reveal the cause of death. Smith is survived by his wife of 31 years, son William E. Smith III, and daughter Sherry Ann Covelli. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new here, and if you want to support my work, please visit my Patreon page. Now it is your turn. What do you think about the life and legacy of William Smith? No wonder he was a natural playing tough guys. He was a tough guy.